Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Legacy. My name's Noah Mitchell and I'm the Senior Learning Experience Designer here at Legacy FM. And today, I want to start with a little story. So a lot of you in the Legacy FM space probably don't know this. A lot of people in my network, instructional designers, do though, that I used to be a waiter. I was a server, I waited tables. And that was one way that I made money. And I did this basically after I got my bachelor's degree. And then also while I was in school, getting my master's degree. And then also after graduate school, while I was waiting for the opportunity to work for an amazing company like I am now at Legacy FM. And so the story I want to share with you is one that I recently spoke about in one of our, group meetings. We call it squad meetings because we're the empowerment squad. And so I was sharing that whenever I was still starting out as a waiter, as a server, there was this one day when I had been given too much for me to handle. And anybody who's worked in the restaurant industry before knows that that is a frequent occurrence. And so I'm sitting there, it's getting busy, and I'm, running around with probably 5 or 6 tables in my section. And when you're starting out, it's really hard to handle any more than like 3 or 4 tables. I'd say probably 4 tables max. And that's the ideal for anybody, in my opinion. I know some people can handle more, but, I'll never forget, walking up to this one table. I mean, I noticed them at first, I greeted them, and I'm pretty sure I even got their drink order. But as things started to get busy, I started going to other tables, doing the same thing, getting the ball rolling there, doing over here, getting the ball rolling there, running back to the kitchen, getting drinks. There's a lot going on as a server that you have to keep your mind on and juggle. And so I'd say about 15 to 20 minutes later, I don't even know how this happened. I looked over at that original table and they were gone. They were gone. All of the menus were still there. Their drinks were still there, but they were gone. And I unfortunately had the sobering realization that they left because I never went back to them. And so that experience really, really, really impacted me profoundly. So much so that I remember it today, right? And so what I learned from that experience, and something that I carry with me today, is that you cannot, no matter how new you are, or even how experienced you are, you cannot allow yourself to get to the point where you are unwilling or even unaware of the fact that you need to ask for help. And I realize now that that was probably one of the issues. Maybe I could have handled it myself if I had had, more experience and more awareness. But really in that moment, what I needed to be aware of and what I needed to really understand is that I needed to ask someone else to help me out. Grab another server or even a manager and say, hey, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I've got more than I can handle. Could you help me take this order at this table? And so it does require a lot of humility because you are acknowledging your limits. And here's the thing, that's okay. No matter what field you work in, acknowledging your limits, it's not a bad thing. And here's why. I'm not saying that you should limit yourself, but acknowledge and be gracious about where you currently are so you can do things that you need to do to get this, awesome experience completed. And so in that case, I was asking for help. But as you get better and better, your limits grow and grow. And so in that sense, yes, you can be limitless as long as you continue to grow. But that's followed me my whole life. And so now I even see it play out in what I do. So as an instructional designer, you can imagine that there are a lot of times when we're pedal to the metal, so to speak, trying to meet, this deadline for the end of the fiscal year. And we're just, really, really working hard and doing our best work. but it can get, it can get encumbering sometimes. And even for someone like me who's been doing instructional design in this capacity for 2 years now, that experience that I had waiting tables still allows me to be aware of the fact that I'm not perfect. I am certainly not as experienced as I will be in 5 years or 10 years, which means I probably still can't handle as much as I will be able to in 5 years or 10 years. And so sometimes I have to ask for help. I recently did it. We were trying to get this big project done, and I was creating the e-learning course for it. And I told my boss, I said, I'm not sure that I'll be able to get all of this done by the deadline we have set. And I said, I would like to, but I just, given how long it usually takes me to do 5 courses of this size, I just don't think I can do it. But importantly, I had already come up with a solution. And so that's important, by the way. Anytime really you bring up a problem, you want to try to at least give an idea of a solution for the situation. And so I proposed that, maybe the closed captioning portion of the project I could give to someone else on the team, which is my awesome coworker, Hillary Landrum, which totally came through. And I thank you for that. And so what we were able to do, my boss was like, I think that sounds like a great idea. Thanks for coming with a solution. And we did that and got it done. And we got it done on time, in the time frame that we needed to. And that was awesome. So yeah, just asking for help. You can't undervalue or underestimate that enough. And as hard as it is sometimes for us. And so what that experience has also taught me now, other than being able to ask for help finally, it's given me an awareness. And so even though I don't wait tables now, guess what I notice when I go out to eat? I notice if tables haven't been waited on. And it kills me sometimes. I can't stop staring at it. My wife and I will talk about it all the time. I'm like, I need to go to that table and help them. And I have in a couple of cases. Usually it's been at the restaurant that I worked at. So I know the menu and I can help out. I did it recently, actually, a couple of months ago. And it's not because, it's not out of like spite or any animosity toward the server. I know how it is. I know what it's like to get behind. But I have that awareness now where I'm like, these people have been waiting for 10 minutes probably. And when you're a server, things can, time, it seems different. You have a different sensation of how much time has passed. And so I got up and I went and helped those people. And so I think that that's actually a good thing, right? Like having that awareness to go beyond the normal call of duty, which in that case, me just being a regular civilian going in to eat, was just for me to worry about me, myself, and I and eat my food. But I couldn't help but want to get up and to go help those people. And so that's another thing I'd like to say. Not only should you ask for help when you need it, but you should also look for opportunities beyond the normal call of duty, beyond your normal responsibilities. And so again, in instructional design, this might mean, taking some extra time to step back and say, who's my audience? And not only like how old are they and what are the demographics, but like what are they like? What are some of the questions that they have or that they had or that they might have about this content? So it's stuff like that. And maybe to put it into facilities management terms, because obviously that's the community that we share these videos to. And so I think that, I think of like a technician maybe going to a patient room to fix something. Let's say they're working on the plumbing and a plumbing fixture in the patient bathroom. But before they leave, they maybe, check for a couple of other things in the room, just to make sure that the patient is good to go and that they're well off, that they have contributed to this safe healing environment that we want for our patients. And so, I guess that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the story. I know I rambled a bit, but just ask for help when you need it, because you're not a superhuman yet anyway. Maybe you'll be there one day. I don't know that I ever will be, but I know that I will always try to ask for help when I need it. And then second of all, allow that humility to create in you an awareness of other things that need to be done in anticipation of needs. So you can really, first of all, go against the grain, create a better product, create a better experience for the users or the patients or whatever context that you're working in, but also be a better version of yourself and really shine in the way that I know that you can. So yeah, anyway, that's all I've got for you. Have a great day. Would love to see some of those comments in the comments section so we can have a nice conversation. But otherwise, have a great day and we'll see you next time.